My state, it's a beautiful state filled with wonderful people, but politically, it was going the other way pretty hard. I mean, it's the land of Eugene McCarthy and Walter Mondale and Hubert Humphrey and Paul Wellstone, and now United States Senator Al Franken. As Frank Sinatra would sing about New York, if we can do it there, we can do it anywhere. So I won't go through the whole thing, but we cut taxes and we got government spending down to historic lows. We were the first state in the nation to have performance pay for teachers statewide. We did tort reform and welfare reform and lawsuit abuse reform and market-based instead of government-based healthcare reform. And it wasn't easy. I mean, I had the first government shutdown in a 150-year history of my state. I set a record for vetoes in my state single season. I use executive authority to unallot more money in the state's budget than I think all the other governors preceding me combined over the previous 142 years. So I fought hard, but we won most of the battles, and we changed Minnesota and got it pointed in a better direction. Now the next principle is another one I think you'll recognize, and I know you're busy with family and work and other things, so if you've got time to watch cable TV and get information, that's great, and if you can read journals and publications and get all honed up on government reform, please do, it's helpful. But if you just need the Reader's Digest version of what you need to know about government reform, it's this. People spend money differently if it's their own money. And so, what you really need to do, you can accomplish on just one Saturday night. Go to 2 weddings here in Iowa or Minnesota on a Saturday night. Go to one wedding where there's an open bar, and the drinks are quote-unquote free, and somebody else is paying the bill. Go to another wedding where there's a cash bar. You'll see 2 very different sets of behaviors. Now, I said this in New York not long ago, and some Wall Streeter raises his hand in the back of the room, and he says, well, who even has a cash bar anymore? That tells you about all you need to know about what's wrong with Wall Street right there. I didn't have the heart to tell them that in rural Minnesota we still have the dollar dance where we raise money by dancing with the bride and groom to get them on their right foot as they go out to start their new life together. But the point is, any system where people get to consume stuff and use stuff without knowing price, without knowing quality, where the provider gets to provide it endlessly based just on volume, and has no accountability other than volume or seniority, and the myth is created that the bill goes somewhere else, that's a system that's doomed to fail. Unfortunately, that's most of our government. So whether it's health care, whether it's education, or almost anything else, we have to put consumers in charge. We have to give them information about price and quality purchases. Let them make decisions for what's best for them and their family. And if they need financial help, let's give it to them to the extent we can afford it, but let's give it to them directly in the form of a voucher or a tax credit or a stipend, instead of running it through some mindless top-down command and control government bureaucracy. We don't believe that, and we know it doesn't work. Two other ones, then I'll just stop. Next one is this. We know that in a democracy, when you got more people riding in the wagon than you got pulling the wagon, we got a problem. So we need fewer riders and more pullers in the private economy. We need to do things to encourage entrepreneurs and business growth and the like. And one of the best things we can do for our fellow citizens is make it more likely that there's going to be jobs growing in our country, not decreasing. And the answer to how to do that does not reside with the politicians. Most of them have never worked in the private sector in their life. The answer resides with the people who have ideas and start